My name is Beth Leppin, and I came to Autumn Ridge shortly after the death of my husband, Aaron. We had been married close to 10 years. Before we got married, he had leukemia and a bone marrow transplant. And then throughout our marriage, he had struggled significantly with some of the complications of the treatment and then passed away in November of 2021. The experience of walking through grief was something that I wasn't prepared for. I had no frame of reference for it. I found myself just really kind of unsure of how to even move forward. Life had felt solid. My relationship with God had felt solid, and then all of a sudden it felt like the rug had been pulled out from underneath me, and I just didn't even know what to make of faith or life or just in general. I didn't know. Things just didn't feel solid anymore. I remember reading in Psalm 33, it says that God's word is true and righteous and unfailing, and that God's faithfulness extends forever. And having to wrestle with the fact that none of those things about my life seemed true. It didn't seem that God was faithful and that everything he does is right and true. But being able to have that faith to say, gosh, I'm not sure how this is all being worked together for good. I certainly don't think that God thought the death of my husband was good. Probably grieved him more than it grieved me. But being able to trust that he could work all those things for good in some way. And I still don't necessarily know how it's all worked out for good. I don't know that we'll even see it in this lifetime or understand it all. But having that faith and trust was what gave me hope even on the hardest days. Not to say it was easy, but God was faithful in bringing truth to mind. Kind of initially in my grief, I couldn't participate in the life of the church in the way that I'd previously and that Aaron and I had found meaningful and important. Definitely I'd go in on Sundays, sit, listen, and try to quickly escape, and that was the extent of it for me. But then as I started to emerge from grief, I appreciated being able to participate more in the life of the church, and really especially found value in the practicing the way classes. It gave me just a really good way to reorient myself again in my faith after a time that had felt really disorienting. In one of the classes, kind of as an added bonus, I ended up meeting the man that I'll marry in just a month or so. And so that was unexpected, but definitely a sweet bonus as well. If I would have told myself 3 years ago that I would survive, that I would find joy and goodness and hope again, I would not have believed myself. I didn't believe people around me who were telling me similar things. So if you find yourself in the spot that I found myself in, I would say keep going. Don't believe that how your circumstances feel today will be how they always feel. Don't stop believing that God will show up. Surround yourself with the community and people who point you to Jesus, who encourage you, who walk beside you in the hardest things.